5,000 million degrees outside here, and we're starting off today's video at the compound. I want to let you guys know, even though we're doing Porsche stuff in this video, the Super Project and the giveaway chaser build, which you guys can get entered for a chance to win by spending $5 at lzmfg.com, are not being put on hold for me to tinker with the Porsche. It's just Sunday. We're not working on that stuff until the boys are back. I just have some time. I got back early from Grid Life, and I'm gonna put some parts on because I know that during the week I'm not gonna have time, and I'm way too excited to delay the gratification anymore. The fun awaits us, my friend. Never fails. Every single time I go to do any exhaust work on the GT3, stupid me always lets it idle for like 30 minutes, and then I gotta wait for it to cool down because this thing gets hot. It's always so satisfying looking into the car and seeing all these little tiny things that are maybe just flimsy plastic pieces, but knowing how much of a difference they probably play when it comes to aero and brake cooling. And it's neat. It's simple. And honestly, I don't have like a wind tunnel or anything to test any of this, but I feel like if I had a 3D printer, I could kind of copy a lot of this stuff and stick it on the underside of my Evo as long as I got pretty flat under panel. Maybe shave a couple seconds off my daily commute to Starbucks, you know? I can get this under panel off so I can get this thing to start cooling down. Forget if I mentioned this or not, but it was pretty cool when I had this car at Atlanta Motorsports Park and got to drive it, because the first time I went there, my car was actually too loud and I got black flagged. But they have one day a year at AMP where they don't have a sound limit, and that's 4th of July. And guess who has it rented out for 4th of July both this year and next year? Drift HQ, baby. We're doing another 4th of July drift event. You gotta come. There's gonna be a link in the description. If you're a driver, make sure you sign up. It's gonna go fast. And we also are capped to the amount of spectators. Now we're bringing in a bunch of bleachers to make sure everyone has a good view, but there's not a ton of parking at the track, so you're gonna wanna make sure you get a ticket, because we will sell out. I will say though, it's not a beginner event, so if you are signing up to drive, just know that they are going to be reviewed, and it's gonna be pretty much advanced drivers only. There'll be more information, click the link. VIP, you're gonna wanna do it. You're gonna get ride-alongs, other special perks, merch, and I want to give a massive shout out to Drift HQ for sponsoring this video. I never know if this is something that's going to end up on the title, so I act as though you guys don't already know this, but we're finally doing headers on the GT3. We got a package from the boys over at Dundon, and not only is this thing going to sound better, we're going to make some more power too. Oh, there are many pieces. As you guys know, if you've watched any of the Porsche videos, I've been a whiny little bitch because I don't have my headers and I miss how my old car sounded. So these, although they're not identical as the last generation, obviously if they were, I could have just taken the ones off my last car. I'd imagine it's gonna sound very similar. You can see the stock style, the collector, and all the runners are a bit shorter. Redundant actually spends a lot of time on the engineering side to make sure not only are the headers gonna sound good, but they're gonna make a lot of power. So we will see some gains with this. We have the race cats. You guys know I've also experimented with deleting the cats on these cars. It gets way too loud, too raspy. But one unfortunate thing is these will not work with my JCR exhaust. I really like this setup, and I think as a mild first step, it was great. There were no headers on the market. I think it looks sick. I'm gonna miss the titanium tips, but we are going a little bit more wild on this one. So right here is Dundon's mini crack pipe. We had one of the first crack pipe setups on the last car, and what it is, it's literally an Inconel megaphone that makes the car sound like an RSR. So they developed a mini system that's not as aggressive as the one that I had on the last car. So I'm excited to see what it's gonna sound like. I'm gonna miss the old setup, it was tame, but I know that this is gonna make the car quite a bit more exciting to build. As a reminder, we'll have some exhaust clips in this video of comparisons of everything, but this was the unsilenced race pipe from JCR. They also make the Turbo S system that I had on my last car that I think is the best selling Turbo S system. Both companies are great people. I just want headers, and now we got headers. I'm looking at this little lip here is kind of cool. It didn't have this bevel on the last setup I had. As always, you can see their welds gangster. And thankfully, since I already have the stock muffler off, this is gonna be really easy. We don't have to pull the bumper off, we don't have to pull the wheels off. And these headers are like the easiest headers in the world. Just and it's off. Forgot about that part.
Well, that's the easiest exhaust uninstall ever.
Yo, so usually there's like 2 hours of work to get the stock exhaust off. You have to take the whole like rear assembly apart.
I think that was about 18 seconds.
Super pro tip, all right? Because even Dundon's instruction says that you have to pull the whole rear bumper off, and it's the scariest thing. It's intimidating. Even if you're a GT3 owner and you're a badass like me, taking off the whole bumper setup. So the trick was, when I had to get the stock system out, I undid this header to a certain extent, and that allowed enough wiggle room to get the stock exhaust off one side. I was able to fish it out without removing the bumper, which sounds ghetto and like there'd be more risk of messing stuff up. And like, yeah, sure, maybe you nick the heat shield a little bit, but to me, it's way riskier pulling off the rear bumper and worrying about some bozo kicking it over while he's working on his NSX in the corner of your shop.
You excuse yourself.
Taking the bumper off, even if the instructions tell you to. I love how well this thing colored. I always try to come up with little sayings to remember like where things go. So if you look over here, we've got 202 sensors. You've got the one that's pre-cat, post-cat. So my saying that I'll use to remember this one, we've got black in the back and blue in the front. We won't forget that. It is so easy to access these headers. It's like a joke compared to any other car. Now you guys can get a little bit better look at the difference and kind of how long the runners are compared to stock. Quite a big difference. Also the merge, a lot prettier than that little bulgy boy. It's pretty cool that it uses another OEM part. It's like an OEM muffler bracket. I'm guessing from a, oh yeah, right here, 991. So it uses a previous generation muffler bracket. Probably how they keep stuff modular. That's pretty cool. And this is gonna be a pain. There's like a spacer that goes in here somehow. Oh, I don't know how this works. So we're pretty much putting everything on loose first. There's a lot of alignment that goes on with these systems. So we'll slap this girl on. Get out of there. And we'll get these like almost tight. Just like so. I know a lot of you guys probably think it's kind of stupid why I document these installs the way that I do and like actually give tips, because like you're probably like, people with Porsches, they just bring their cars to dealers. You'd be surprised. I would say a solid 50% of the dudes I know with GT3s are all like DIY guys that like get stoked on doing the mufflers and headers on their own cars. So I know there are people out there that watch these videos and it helps them, and it makes me happy when I hear that someone didn't get their bumper messed up by some filmer with an NSX because they left it on their car.
I don't know what like time you're talking about, because this never happened.
No, because I'd left my bumper on.
No, it never happened.
In the multiverse. I've definitely been that guy that's done a full header install. Actually, do you remember it was on the R6? Mm-hmm. That thing sucks.
Yep.
Not the car, just the install of the downpipe. Yeah, I've forgotten these before and it's not fun. Oh, I think it was on a Supra I did this too. So if you just check, if you're ever doing something with a V-band and it doesn't have a, well, some V-bands don't have those gaskets, so I guess that's a bad thing to say. Yeah. If there's a slot for it, make sure it's in there. Fill your slots, kids. I mean, I know everything's still loose right now, but everything's lined up so good that I've had very little maneuvering or anything that I've needed to do. Yo, the install exhaust part easy, routing O2 wires and muffler valves and everything is just being annoying tonight. Could be the fact that I'm only on 2 hours of sleep. There's something that I wasn't supposed to do with this. Maybe I wasn't supposed to let it turn when I take it out. There's something that makes it mad. Let me read the instructions on this part. You ever just think about food?
Yeah. Mountain melt.
Bro, not helping the cause.
That's the reward when we're done.
I wish I had gloves because it's cringy me to keep putting fingerprints on all this stuff. I'm gonna wipe it down real good.
I put like a little cinema soft filter on this lens. It makes everything look so nice.
I thought you were gonna see you put a little cinnamon bun in the microwave. I got so excited. The Mike.
I got kettle corn I can put in the microwave.
Dude, I would demolish a bin of kettle corn.
Okay.
Last bolt tight. It sucks that there's so much adjustability, but there kind of needs to be just because so much stuff gets hot and flexes. Like that's why you can see the headers kind of have a cool design with little springs and stuff. It's just lining everything up and getting everything tight. It's a process. Now, super important. I should have been wearing gloves the whole time, but we couldn't find any. So you got to wipe it down, brake clean, alcohol, something to get all your fingerprints or grease off. Otherwise, this pretty exhaust is going to look like a Dalmatian after it gets some heat in it. So you can see this one, like I wiped this exhaust down pretty thoroughly, and still, like, you can see like there's a few little fingerprints and stuff in there. It's just, I mean, you could not do it if you want, but that would be dumb. I'm hungry. Unfortunately, although I aspired to have this video complete tonight and make exhaust clips for you guys, it is both too late at night to make noise, and I've also found out that I need to recode the valves because the valves are at 180 degrees from where they're supposed to be. So if I start it right now, it's going to throw a code and go into limp mode, but I'm still going to start it just to make sure we don't have any exhaust leaks, even though I know I'm just going to put it right in limp mode. Kettle corn. Oh my goodness. I'm too old for these race cars. Megaphone that I had was a louder megaphone. Cool, I can put the under tray back on. Without having revved it yet since the car is cold, I think my biggest first impression is the tone is a lot deeper than the previous generation. It's really hard to explain, but it almost has more like of a raspy idle than the other car. I'm excited to hear what it sounds like once they're revving. Exhaust is perfect. Just to be clear, there won't be a check engine light. It's not because of cats or anything, since the car still does have cats. It's just because of those stupid muffler valves.
Sounds really cool. It's very F1. Really? Yeah.
resume tomorrow once I can meet up with my buddy Kevin, who has the tool that we need to flash check engine light, because I'm pretty sure it won't let me rev if I go drive it right now. So we'll get that sorted, and then we got one more thing we gotta do this thing. So, believe it or not, in these stack of boxes right here will be the first wheels I've ever put that are aftermarket on a GT3. When I owned my last generation GT3 RS, I really wanted HRE R101 lightweights. Wasn't able to get a set before I got rid of the car. Now today, we're gonna be unboxing the first aftermarket set of wheels we're gonna put on the 992. And they are HREs, but I think you guys are gonna be surprised by what they are. Now I'm also very stoked too, because the boys over at HRE got tires mounted on these for me already, so they're ready to go right on. This is some next level shit for us here at LDMFG. Woo!
Look at that, dude.
Dude. What the f? This looks like some futuristic spaceship type right here, dude. So, HRE just released their CRBN carbon line, and I got a sneak peek of these before they were released to the public over at the Smokies event, and they had one of these on display. It was this whole thing, and you need to sign an NDA and stuff, and I got to see some of the very first barrels. They have them in gloss carbon, and they have them in dry carbon. And what I think the coolest thing about them is, not only is the weave like beautifully perfect, there's no seam. So a lot of carbon wheels that I've seen, they have a seam and it kind of looks ugly and almost like fake carbon. This is legit, and the way that they do it is some next level. So this looks ridiculous. These wheels are sick, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, these are not actually my wheels. So I ordered a set of the R101 lightweights, actually in the same finish. This is frozen dark clear, and it's cool. It's got like almost like a tumbled, kind of looks like raw titanium finish. It's just different, it looks really high end. But I got the R101 lightweight monoblocks, which are extremely light. These wheels are still much lighter than stock, but this is more of a like, you, I have the most expensive badass wheels in the world, where the R101 lightweights are more of like a track wheel. So these wheels just came out, and while my R101 lightweights are being built, they were cool enough to send them to let me mount them to the car, drive around on them. And I feel like if I had time, you know, I could go to local Cars and Coffee and flex on all the other people that don't have carbon wheels, but we don't really have time for that. So I'm gonna drive around in the compound, maybe go get dinner with Colette and enjoy my fancy little carbon wheels. It is cool looking at these wheels, how they're modular, and they can use the same faces that they use on their other three-piece wheels with these barrels. So there is a lot of options. All the like holes for the lightweight wheels. And obviously these ones are center lock, but you can't see the hardware or anything. Did I mention these wheels start at over $6,000 each? Do you wonder why I asked them to mount the tires for me? I don't want to risk that, especially on a set of wheels that aren't technically mine, but I'm stoked to see what they're going to look like on the car. And although I honestly wouldn't be stoked that it came on PS4Ss instead of Cup 2s, it's actually convenient since there's a bunch of rain tonight, and I'm trying to go drive this thing to the dealership so I can go get the codes flashed so I can hear my new exhaust with my carbon wheels.
Carbon brakes.
Flex on everybody. I don't feel like washing the whole car right now, so I'm hitting these with some Griot's cleaner. It's really important if you're using any sort of tire shine or whatever to properly clean the wheels. Usually I'd begin there with a scrub brush and stuff, but these are pretty clean to start. That way, whatever tire shine you use has like a better surface to bite onto. Even though they're brand new tires, you see how much gross stuff there is in them?
Mm-hmm.
Satin, always satin, never shine. Not a big shine guy. But I like, even still with this, I don't even spray direct on the tire, I spray in a rag and then just rub it in. Carbon fiber wheels.
What do you think of these puppies?
That's in the budget? No, it's not. That's a reaction I want. Oh wait, you spelled it. I was like, that's a reaction I wanted to yell on. Oh, okay. $6 grand a pop. A wheel? A wheel. What? Yeah, these are my new wheels for that
Think
D-car.
about it. They're almost as much
The
as
seats?
in the box Blix.
Yeah, they're almost as much as new in the box Blitz 03s. You got a good point, Jan. They still make those?
No.
Oh, the whole thing is carbon. Holy and paint marker? Pretty sick. Ready? Oh, these are quite a bit lighter than stock. Just nick this barrel right on the way in. Oh, it's gonna be weird seeing this car on black wheels. It's gonna look futuristic as
It's sick.
Now this is pretty cool. They come with their own caps for these center locks. Smart from a branding perspective. HRE does probably have one of the most like widely recognized logos. It's like, yep, they got the best for this.
It's really good.
So my only thing right now that's just irking me a little bit, they make black HRE center caps, and I gotta get the black center caps. I put these ones on, and just like I'm super anal about color, where the black looks a little bit more subtle than the flashy HRE caps. We'll get some black ones on. Other than that, it looks sick.
Yeah, I really dig it.
I was told that the car's not gonna rev, but we'll know for sure, because usually when I'm rolling, the car will let you rev, so let's see. Oh, we can rev, baby. It sounds pretty cool.
It
Like
sounds
from in
sick.
the car?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the last generation.
No, it sounds much better.
You think it sounds better?
Yeah,
The last car sounded pretty good.
it did.
Can you rev it for me just a little bit? Sure. So the trick is, you just gotta be kind of like slowly rolling forward and then you can rev it. Yo, it's got some girth to it. I feel like it's got more than it did before. Before it was like kind of like smooth, and then up top it got real raspy, but now like the mid-range has some to it.
Yeah. It's
dig
really
it.
good. It's got that F1 kind of sound to it now.
I dig it. I'm stoked. It was a fun video, getting to mess with this thing a little bit. I'm actually gonna probably end this video with some sound clips. We are going to my buddy Kevin, who's gonna flash it so the exhaust muffler valves are happy, and I'll do some pulls on the way. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you soon. Initial impressions are actually fantastic. So first thing to know, I was a little bit worried about having a lot of drone, especially since the exhaust flaps are stuck open right now. Probably like 50% less drone than the old like crack pipe that I had, because this is their mini crack pipe. I would say you don't get any drone until you're up about 4,000 RPM, which is when you're doing like 85, 90. Underneath that at like normal cruising speeds, we can still have a conversation. Colette, would you approve?
I approve. This is conversation approved.
Before she didn't like driving the other GT3 because we couldn't have a conversation. It sounds stupid, but a lot of people.
I did not like it.
No, but like if we go out to dinner somewhere, it's so droney that you can't really talk.
It's just on the long road trips. Like
Yeah.
if you're going on like a 2-hour trip, to not like say anything and just have a really loud, it's kind of annoying. But this is great.
But you know, people out there that they've got girlfriends, if they have a GT3, obviously.
Or boyfriends.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. But anyway, so it's important to be able to have conversation. Also, Dundon told me I was gonna not be able to rev. The car revs, so I've been able to do pulls and it sounds sick. I'm gonna let you guys hear what it sounds like. Let me make sure no police. Are you ready?
Yep.
It's loud, but it's not as loud as the old crack pipe was, and I kind of love it because I was scared it was gonna be too loud for me. I'm really happy. I don't know if the new cats that they have reduce more noise or if it's just a smaller crack pipe, not like reverberating as much, but it has the crack pipe rasp without just being too loud.
Love that for you.
look at a dyno to see if it's a placebo effect or not, but it feels like there's a pretty significant gain of torque around like 4,500 RPM or so. But dyno wise, I would say probably like at least 50 foot-pounds of torque. Like, I noticed it a lot at partial throttle zipping around. Oh, we can do a zoom. You ready?
Yep.
Oh, I'm stoked for the underpass. Too bad there's a bunch of traffic. Maybe we can get out ahead. Yeah, it has the RSR like come down. I don't know how to explain it, like the decel. Ready? You can hear it the best when a camera's recording from the front. So we'll have to do some of those tomorrow. It'll be in the same video for you guys. But the way that it sounds from the front just sounds insane. I don't know how to describe it. I'm stoked. That like